Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be telling you 8 different ways that I have found to make money from home. So if you've ever wondered what kinds of things you can do to make either a little extra cash on the side or as a stay-at-home parent, then hopefully this will give you some ideas. Alright, so a little background on me. I have been a stay-at-home mom for 6 years now. When I was 15, I got my first job, and prior to that, I did some babysitting, so I've always worked. But in 2013, my husband joined the military, and soon after that, in 2014, I did end up leaving my job, which at the time I worked at a bank as a teller. And I ended up leaving that position to move to another state to be with my husband, and I decided to stay home with our son who had just, well, my husband's son, he is my stepson, who had just started living with us. So I have not had a job outside of the home since 2014. I ended up having my daughter in 2015, so I got pregnant pretty soon after we moved to be with my husband, and I just haven't ended up going back to work. I always planned on going back to work when she started school, but as you probably know by watching my videos, I have decided to homeschool her. So this entire time I have been staying home, and I have always found ways to make a little extra money for our family while I stay home. And a lot of that actually doesn't even really have to do with the money aspect of it as much as it does just for my personal, just because I want to. Just for personal reasons. I always worked, like I said, I got my first job when I was 15, and I actually really enjoy having a job, and I kind of feel like I lost a little bit of my identity when I quit my job. And going from working full-time and not having any kids to care for to moving to another state, quitting your job, all of a sudden having a child to care for, it was a lot. And so doing little things here and there on the side to help make money and help to provide in some way for my family, or just to have a little extra for fun, just made me feel better and made me feel good, and it gave me a little bit more purpose. So the first thing, if I'm looking down, I wrote a little, some little notes on the different ways that I've made money that I can talk about with you guys. And the first thing I started doing was selling stuff. And this is something that anybody can do. And I literally just started going through my stuff at home and found things we no longer needed, and I would post them on Facebook groups. I don't know if Marketplace was around at the time, I can't remember, but I didn't use Marketplace. I just used my local Facebook groups. If you go online, you will find groups for different areas to live in, yard sale groups, and that sort of thing. And so I just started posting my items on there. Eventually, I just kind of got into a rhythm of how I was like writing my posts. I knew what would sell. I knew how to get through all of the messages that were coming through, because it does get a little bit complicated when you have multiple people interested in one item trying to weave through them and get somebody to actually come purchase the item from you, because I have had a lot of people not actually show up, and so there are some bumps in the road, but I figured out a good, efficient way to do that, and I actually made a decent amount of money from doing that. And on the flip side of that, when I found out I was pregnant with my daughter, I started to purchase things that were used from other people that were way more inexpensive. And for example, I got her crib from somebody in our neighborhood who was selling it, and then she ended up not using it that often, and when we ended up moving, I was able to sell it for the same price that I had paid. So we were able to utilize it a little bit when my daughter was a baby, and then I still got my money back. So not only can you make money that way, but you can also save a lot of money that way. A lot of people will go to like Goodwill or consignment shops or places where you can get items for cheaper, and then they'll buy them and you can like repurpose it and resell it, that sort of thing. I never really got into that because I just had enough stuff around my house that I just continued to sell our own stuff or things that I had purchased that I no longer needed. But you can do that as well and make it like a little business. So that is the first thing I started doing, and I brought in a little extra cash for my family, and it was really nice. And then I would use the money that I made to purchase items we needed for my daughter when I was pregnant so that we would be ready when she was born. So the second thing that I did is I joined Beachbody. Now, I know a lot of people have different opinions on Beachbody and MLMs in general, and I too have my own opinions. I like them in some ways and I don't like them in other ways. They definitely have their pros and cons, and I definitely understand why people don't like them. However, it is a good way for somebody who is staying home to make a little extra cash. And I will say it takes a lot of work, it takes a lot of time, and I feel like a lot of people don't understand that. And a lot of people have problems with how people approach their sales and that sort of thing. But it is individual to the person, so you don't have to be super salesy. Whenever I did them, I didn't make a ton of money. It wasn't gonna like be something where my husband could quit his job or anything like that. But for me, as far as Beachbody, it gave me a discount on the products, which at the time I was using. So we were able to save money there. It gave me a group of friends. It gave me a group of people to talk to. I enjoyed meeting new people. And so again, it kind of gave me a sense of purpose, but I did also have some sales, and when I would get extra money, again, it was just nice to have a little extra money to help my family. And you could make it as big as you want. The more time and energy you put into your business, the more money you will make, the more potential you have of making money. And yes, MLMs, the more people you have under you, the more money you make. I never really got that high up, I guess you could say, to where I was making a lot of money from other people. But if you put in a lot of time, that is a possibility. And I do understand why people don't like that aspect of it. But it is an option for somebody who is staying home, who is trying to earn some extra money and is trying to create their own business while also still having kind of like another business to fall back on. Like, I do not own Beachbody, but it was nice to have their products and be able to kind of create my own business using their products and to sell for them and bring in a little extra income for my family. So that was another thing that I did. And then while I was doing Beachbody, I was trying to find a more permanent source of income. I guess permanent's not the right word. Reliable source of income, something that would come in weekly. And so I actually ended up babysitting for somebody who lived in our neighborhood, and I would babysit for them Monday through Friday while they were at work. And it actually worked out really nicely because at the time my daughter was about 2 and this little girl that I babysat was about the same age. They were only a couple of months apart. So they got to play with each other. My daughter got a friend, and I was bringing in steady money every single week, which was really nice. So babysitting is my third way to make money. Along with that, something that I haven't personally done, but I know a lot of people who do, is dog sitting. You could dog sit for somebody, you could dog walk, you could house sit. So any of that sort of thing. And a great website to use is care.com. I have created a profile on there before, and I have used it to look for babysitters before, but I've never actually ended up hiring anyone or getting hired myself. I just kind of casually looked at it. But I do know a lot of people who have used care.com, so that is something you can look into if you are thinking about offering babysitting services and that sort of thing. But that was probably my most steady source of income throughout my husband's military career, was when I was babysitting. Along with that, I forgot, so while I was babysitting, I actually found out that I could be an in-home daycare, and we lived on a military base, so laws and rules are different if you live off base, but they had a program on base that you could go to. It was classes you would take, and they would train you to be an in-home daycare, and then once your paperwork went through and everything, you would open up and you would be a legit daycare for people and get your get parents to sign up to have their kids come and stay with you, and you'd have a curriculum and all of that stuff. So it did take a lot of work, and I took the classes and did all of that, but unfortunately, because we are a military family, before I could finish the entire process, we got orders to move, and so that never ended up working out. However, if my daughter was younger, at this point I don't think it would work for our family, but when my daughter was younger, I think that would have been the perfect way for me to stay home and make some extra money, because I could watch her while watching other kids and be bringing in a steady income. So another way to make money from home is by finding some freelance work. For me, I ended up taking a course in transcribing, and I think the website was called transcribe.com. I could be wrong, I can't remember. But basically, there was a set of tests you had to take, and if you passed the tests, then you would get assigned random little jobs here and there. So they would send video clips, or not video clips, audio clips, and you would listen to the audio and type out what you heard. And these clips were like 30 seconds to a minute. It just kind of depended, but it did take a lot of time. Like one clip could take an hour, because you would have to sit there and sometimes re-listen to certain words and stuff. So it did take time, but it definitely is a way to make extra money. And the more you do it, I'm sure the more you get used to, typing out while you're listening to the audio clips and stuff. So that is something that is easy, that anyone can do. You just have to take the tests for it, and you can make a little extra money on the side. Another way, and what I'm currently doing to bring in a little extra income for our family, is owning an Etsy shop. So I'm sure most of you have heard of Etsy before. If you haven't though, it is an online shop where people can sell handmade items, and I think you can sell other things now too. I don't think it's just handmade items, but you can create items or make items and sell them on Etsy, and that is what I currently do. I own a bath and beauty shop called So Beauty Essentials, and I sell body scrubs, sugar scrubs, bath bombs, that sort of thing. Sometimes I add like random other products, like I've sold bath salts in the past, and I do like gift sets and that sort of thing. So that is currently how I'm making some extra money. And with that, again, it goes along with like doing Beachbody or anything like that, just owning your own business. The more time you put into it, the more money you can make from it. So what I really love about it is at this point in my life, I'm kind of limited in how much time I have to put towards my Etsy shop and towards YouTube and all of the extra stuff that I'm doing. And that is totally okay, because it's not like I'm making the main source of our income. It is just extra money for our family. So I'm able to put in time and work when I can, and I'm able to make money when I need to. So if, I really want to try to make more money, there's definitely things I could do. I could post more on social media. I could advertise my products more. I can offer sales. I can go to the flea market and sell my products in person if I'd like to. There's definitely ways that I could up my sales if I needed to. And then for right now, I'm just casually posting when I have the time. I promote when I have the time, and it's working out really well for me. And then when I have sales, it's nice to have a little extra money for our family. Etsy does take a few fees, so that is something to consider, because like I said, I could just go sell the items myself, but even then there are other fees, like renting a booth. Usually if you go to a flea market and try to sell your product, you're going to have to rent an area or rent a booth. So it's not a ton of money that I bring in, but it definitely is enough to help out our family and provide some fun little extra things that we wouldn't otherwise be able to get. And so that is definitely a good source of income if you are a stay-at-home mom. And I know it's kind of intimidating to open an Etsy shop or to open any kind of business. It's kind of intimidating, and it took me a while to figure out what I wanted to sell. But my biggest advice is, if it's something you want to do, just sit down and think about things that you like, things that you make. For me, the way that I ended up deciding to sell my body scrubs is because I was personally using these body scrubs and making them for myself at the time, because I was really focusing on self-care. And one day I was just sitting there brainstorming things that I could make for Etsy, and I was like, why don't I try selling my scrubs? And so I did. I made it happen. And I've been doing that for 2 years now. And my first year, I had a ton of sales. I put a ton of time into it. Last year, I wasn't able to put as much time. We had a few moves. We bought a house. So we had a lot going on last year, and it was totally fine. I didn't make as much money, but I made enough to help us out when we wanted to. And this year, I've been able to put a little bit more time into it, and I'm seeing that pay off. So that is definitely something that is a good way to make some extra money for your family if you'd like to. The way that I had to make money is by having a blog or vlog. So obviously I do YouTube. I do not currently make money doing YouTube, but I'm sure you've seen other YouTubers and there is ways to make money. I personally am just kind of doing it as a hobby right now. I don't really get sponsorships or anything. I'm not big enough for that. You know, you need a certain amount of subscribers and view time and all of that good stuff. Just like all the other things, I'm sure I could find ways to profit off of my YouTube right now. But for now, I'm enjoying just posting when I'm able to, and eventually I do plan on trying to reach out and find ways that I can make money from it. One way that I can make money from YouTube as of right now is just by promoting my own stuff. So if you look down in the description box on all my videos, I post my Etsy shop, I post my Mercari shop because I sell clothes on there, which is something I forgot to mention. That's another way to earn money, is like selling clothes on Mercari or Poshmark. And I also was doing the Amazon affiliate program for a little while, which I need to sign back up for. But if you're not familiar, Amazon does have an affiliate program and anyone can sign up for it. And basically you post links to products that you've used or products that you're promoting, and anyone who purchases a product through your link, then you get some kind of reimbursement. Yeah, blogging and vlogging are definitely ways that you can make money. And then the last thing I have on here isn't really a job. It's not going to make a ton of money, but something I've been doing this entire time since I quit my job, even before I quit my job, is using sites and apps that are cashback sites. So for example, Swagbucks. I love Swagbucks, and basically if you're not familiar with what that is, it is just an online site, and there's different products on there that you can purchase and get cash back. You can take surveys on there, which is how I usually get my money. They have subscriptions on there like Hulu. I signed up for Hulu through them and got like $25 back, which covered my first like 2.5 months or something. So you can save money, you can earn money back. And for me personally, I redeem my points for gift cards. So anytime I get enough money for a gift card, I'll usually do Walmart, and then I'll use that towards my groceries. Another cashback app that I like is Ibotta, and for that one you go through the different products that they offer, mostly like groceries is what I do it on, and you pick groceries that you're going to buy, and they offer cash back on certain ones, and then you just scan your receipt and you get the cash back, and then that goes directly to a PayPal. So I think you have to have a $20 minimum, and then you can cash that out. So I've made money from there. There's also Checkout 51. There is, I'm trying to think there. Oh, Fetch. There's Fetch Rewards, which is the kind of the same concept as Ibotta, but it's even easier than Ibotta because you don't have to go through and select which items you're getting. You just scan your receipt and it automatically shows which items you qualify for. So I will actually leave a bunch of links below. I'll leave a link for my Etsy shop. I'll leave a link for my Mercari. I'll leave links for Fetch and Ibotta and all that stuff. They are referral codes, so I do get a referral from that, and I think you guys might get something from it as well. I'm not really sure, honestly, but I will leave those all down below if you guys are interested in checking them out. But yeah, so these are 8 ways that I have found to make some extra cash for my family, to bring in a little money while being a stay-at-home mom. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope it gave you some ideas and helped you out a little if you are a stay-at-home mom or a stay-at-home parent looking to make a little extra money. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more, and I will see you guys in the next one.